Welcome to the CIRF report from May 13 through 15. If you're seeing this on the 13th, you're getting a really big heads up on the energy coming the next couple of days. The astrology we're going to cover is for the 14th and 15th. I went ahead and did another I-Ching reading that I'm going to start with actually for the first time, probably is kind of unprecedented in the CIRF reports. But I wanted to go over and welcome the new people in and reiterate that there's really just two goals here for the CIRF report, which is number one, we want to find out what the biggest influence is on us collectively. And number two, we want to know what the main solution is, the behaviors, the actions that we should take based on what we're seeing for that particular influence. So here's the I-Ching reading that I did earlier today. I asked the question, what is the main influence for the coming days? And let me zoom in. Well, I'm not going to explain how to get these, how to derive these lines. And this is my own little chicken writing. And I'll go through here really quick because we need to move on. But so we had a 63 with a change line on the first line, which that change created 39. This is the book of changes is where this is derived from. And the I-Ching is all about the change in energy. So the change that it's seeing is from 63, which is after completion. We'll talk a little bit about this later, but after completion, and it changes into 39, which is obstruction. Now, when I saw obstruction and read about it, and I've got all these hints here, this is a little bit later on in the week because it's all about Saturn. There's going to be a Saturn trine and square, I think, on Wednesday or Thursday. And so this is clearly what the CIRF or what that I-Ching reading was picking up on. But let's go into 63 because this is relevant for right now. And after completion means that there's kind of like a calm after the storm, if you will. There's been a storm. It's transitioned from all this confusing stuff, and it's the end of disorder. Remember, this is the influence. So for those with good fortune, those must maintain right attitude, which is indicated here. It's time to preserve what you have, and if anything, you don't want to be moving ahead too far and wasting a bunch of energy that you wouldn't have otherwise expended. And you need to kind of like look ahead to see if there are any obstacles or misfortunes in the future. The 9, this is called, let me show you here. This is called 9 at the bottom. This was a 9, this line here, because of the dot there. And what that means is 9 at the bottom means he breaks his wheels, meaning it's time to slow down a little bit. All right. Without further ado, let's go on to the DreamBot. I normally start with the DreamBot. So if this is your first time here, make sure you check out the beginner's guide because it'll explain what this DreamBot is doing. This is a collection of dreams. We have several memes today. The first one in the red is just war and destruction. And we've seen quite a bit of this recently. On and off. This is just one of those on days. Destruction, loud, dirt, bomb, kindle, edge. Kindle obviously could be a couple different things, but kindle in this case is like a little fire. So there's a fire. And then the blue arrows, someone could argue that exit is kind of a destruction thing, but I think it went better with abandoned. And so we have a meme called negotiation, resolution, and dissolution. And we want to have resolutions, and we want to go negotiate with our brothers and our sons and set, cancel, beside, making deal. So, dreaming, it's imagining a better future, that kind of thing. Friendly, abandoned. What did we abandon? Well, we abandoned the war, destruction. So there is exactly what we saw from hexagram 63. It's amazing. And then what we're left with is the result of the orange arrows, which is that meme is all about experiencing life. Life is one of them. Sun, experiencing life. It's almost verbatim out of there. And then some of the emotions that are involved in life. All right, let's go see what the astrology looks like. And we are triangulating into the main influence. What I forgot to do is to highlight the cursor. So if you can hang on really quick, I'll get there we go, the highlight. Now, where do we begin? We are starting in the morning. On Monday morning, the 13th, Moon is going to trine Mercury. So you're going to wake up to an ability to negotiate. What is B? B is negotiation resolution. Boom, right off the bat. So we're already negotiating. And if you didn't notice all this already, kind of check out this pseudo grand Earth trine forming. It's not perfect because there's some different points here, but you know, it's all in Earth signs. And so that by itself looks like C, which is meme C, which that is experiencing life. It's all about experience. That's the main influence. Remember, the inside tropical zodiac is there to give us our influence. All right. And then later in the day, we have an opposition when the moon transits over a little bit further. It makes an opposition with Neptune. That's going to make it a little bit illusionary. I mean, your reality is going to be a little bit altered just by default there. And then later in the night, then you've got Moon is going to make a trine with Saturn. It's kind of going back to not necessarily war or destruction, but, you know, it's a little bit, there's obstacles there. Saturn represents a lot of obstacles. Now, it's a trine, so it's going to be, you're not going to be stranged out by these or working hard against these things. There's more solutions than anything with a trine. And then, of course, you've got a little bit later Sun trine Pluto, Pluto being the destroyer. So that's kind of war destruction, but not all destruction is bad. So this is a trine. So it's a healthy type of destruction. In other words, it's the ending of things that need to be destroyed. Okay. Sometimes things need to be destroyed. Destruction is not necessarily a negative thing. All right, let's look at Tuesday. Now, Tuesday, we have Mars. I'm going to point out to Mars over here, who's in tropical Gemini, towards the latter part of Gemini, and getting double hit. And it's about midday, and I'm sorry, it starts in the morning, 9 a.m. You're going to get a sextile over to Venus. Venus being relationships, romantic relationships, finance. And it's a sextile, so it's kind of harmonious. Maybe we're doing things collectively together in the relationship and moving forward together and all that. Now, I probably should zoom in a little bit so we can get a little bit more clarity. We have also Mars square Moon, and that's going to be square is not so harmonious. It is the Moon, so it's going to happen fairly quick. But things are contentious. Emotions are obscured. Emotions are conflicted. Now, fortunately, we're starting the day with a lot of healthy communication, and it's carryover from yesterday. And this is part of negotiation, which is the Sun trine Moon. Now, of course, that's in the middle of the morning while you're dreaming. So you might be dreaming about how you're going to resolve problems with later in the day. That would be called precognitive dreams. So take a look at your dreams. You might get some hints about how to pre-solve some of these things. All right. Now look at hexagram 12, because Mars is getting double hit right there in Gemini. Now, Gemini is all about more like harmony and likes to hang out with people and likes to negotiate and loves doing these things and book learning and stuff. But hexagram 12 says it all. Now, let's go to the actual hexagram. I've got a slide for this and get rid of that part. Now, I'm going to read some of this. I'm going to look in the Book of Changes. There we go. This is straight out of the book. All right. And I thought this was just incredible based on all the stuff that we have talked about already. The judgment. Stand still. Evil people do not further. Perseverance of the superior man. The great departs, small approaches. Now, what is this saying? This is saying that perseverance is key, but we are dispersing. If you've got everything figured out, if you're behind in things, or you're the small person, then you are approaching equanimity. Heaven and earth are out of communion, and all things are benumbed. What above has no relation to what is below, and on earth confusion and disorder prevail. So there is a sense of, well, let me continue. What above has no relation to what is below, and on earth confusion, and I already read that. The image of standstill. Thus the superior man falls back upon his inner worth. In order to escape the difficulties, he does not permit himself to be honored with revenue. Okay, so this is a lot more about inner purpose. This is what we read from the I-Ching reading earlier, and the this one, hexagram 12. So here's what we have for National Dream Center social media. This is the period of after completion. Really matches this idea that May is heavily into Taurus, and it's kind of the wind down of these tasks and goal completion. And it's about experiencing life. Remember that kind of pseudo grand earth trine? This is after the completion. Fortune is afforded those with a sense of self-worth, perseverance, and unswerving. That's a quote from the I-Ching, the Book of Changes. An unswerving inner purpose. And then for interzension, I changed this up a little bit. Interzension. The influence and the solution. So the last slide of every CIRF report, hopefully, will be the main influence and then the main solution to make it easy for everybody. The influence is standstill, stagnation. You see, this person has just finished doing the tasks of the day. You can just see it on her face, which is, I did it. What else? I did it. And so now there's an unwavering inner purpose. This is, if you don't have that, that would be the one thing to make sure that you do have. And then you foster inner worth and persevere still, but prepare for the for overcoming the expected or known obstacles. So in the I-Ching reading, especially the one coming up, the one for 39 that we didn't get to because that's Saturn later, that's coming in the next few days past this. This is kind of like the void between there, and it's not a balanced state. There's kind of like an uneasiness associated with there's something kind of not right. There's something kind of not right, but you may or may not have awareness on what that is. And what you should be doing is doing exactly what this says. The solution: unwavering inner purpose, foster inner worth, perseverance, and prepare for upcoming hurdles. And that's going to be huge for when Saturn comes online. We're going to be doing the next CIRF report on Tuesday night, and I guarantee you we're going to be talking a little bit about Saturn. All right, so if you want to do a little bit more research, that's I-Ching 12 reading in the Book of Changes. You can do this by Google search. And I-Ching 39, this is the combination of 12 and 39, the solution down here. All right, that's it. If you got questions, tag those below, and welcome all the new folks. And please share. Hope you enjoyed today's broadcast. We'll see you again on Tuesday.